we are live. Welcome everybody.
Yay. We're here.
Today we are playing in our titles or our run of missions. Mission 11, titled Election Day. This is, I think, episode 14 of our run of this Shadowrun's missions campaign.
Mission 14.
Or mission... Yes, mission 14.
So everybody needs to make sure to pay your November cost of living.
How much is that?
And get your November pay.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
How long you still got before you off suspension?
I've got that written down somewhere. How about there? Currently suspended until February 2074.
Okay, so this should all play out before you can go back to work.
Yep.
Wow.
Ooh.
I'm gonna luck my roll.
Why?
I don't know that does anything.
It just means lost income, so you'll earn 10% less. Since it wasn't a critical fail. It was just a regular fail.
To be fair, we probably won't get into anything he needs to roll luck again for another hour, so...
You say that.
Alright, so...
take the success by 11.
Alright, we have... Wow, you're going to make a lot of money then. Because I think you were freelance.
Yeah, I'm a street doc freelance physician.
Alright, so first up, we've crossed the month. It is November 7th, 2073. Everyone needs to pay $600 in cost of living.
Or whatever.
Or more.
Or more if you have higher status and all that sort of stuff. If you have things like debt and whatnot, you have to pay those as well. Your enemies and such should also be secret roles.
Do we all need to roll the secret roll, or only one of us for Dr. Auslander?
I think
Well,
just
only the one.
So, I rolled it this time. If we get around to it again, somebody else can roll it.
If you have enemies or secrets that need to be resolved, now's the time to resolve it and make those rolls secretly in the box, please.
I might be the only person with a secret now.
No, I still haven't bought mine off. Where's the thing?
So, Phil, could I get you to roll the Auslander enemy again in the box, though?
In the box! Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. Do we have any bookkeeping? People are spending any points or anything to that effect?
Up on my move.
So how fast is Frost now?
Oh, he's just up to 8. Of course, he's usually in light encumbrance, which means he's usually at 6. So now I'm actually keeping up with everybody else.
I'd like to bump up administration if I can.
You can't. Sorry.
Sure. Has Frost's move affected his basic speed?
No.
So only a move increase.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that has any damage carried over from the previous mission and fatigue can recover all that.
I always forget that.
Wow. Does Shard actually have 23 fatigue points?
Yeah.
You must have put a lot of points in that.
30.
I presume that's not all normal fatigue.
I think I did. Did I? Yeah,
I know
that's all
you-
normal fatigue.
I know you can't do that in a non-cinematic game. There's limits. I don't know if there are limits otherwise.
No, I think he can just easily swap it out with energy reserve, and it's
Well,
the
yeah,
same
that's what I
thing.
was thinking.
It's just you can only use that for magic.
Yeah, which
Yeah, and that was the
means
intention.
it would end up costing you less.
I'm not sure if energy reserve does cost you less.
Does it not?
I think it does.
Looking.
I would think it would. It should be
Nope.
less.
Energy reserve is 3 points, just like fatigue.
Well, okay.
Fair enough. There you go.
Yeah, I looked into that for. I think I want to say I looked into that for Finn, and that's why I went. Well, not going to bother with energy reserve because I'll just might as well get the fatigue. But it's ultimately the same thing in that particular case, since he's just wanting to use it for that.
Well, yeah, but it also
But
means
then
if he's using energy reserve, and then he can't run for friggin' ever.
yeah. Well, it's also it's one of those that you can do that with extra fatigue, I think, where it's like that's a modifier where it's like only for magic or something like that.
Yeah, but energy reserve makes it distinct and more easily separate.
Mm-hmm.
Pity there's no place to track that.
It's coming.
Uh-huh.
I'm adding a thing of lots of trackers, so you can add as many tracker things as you want.
That's interesting.
It'll be an extra tab on the main character sheet.
Right.
So where you've got your reactions and secondary characteristics, then there's a tracker tab there.
We are tech level 9, right?
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you getting like equipment or something?
No, I'm calculating how much I made.
Oh, did I remember to load that module?
And I really should do it beforehand, but I probably should buy some stuff as well. I have money.
Yeah, I think it came down to 3,600 a month for status 0.
For what? Cost of living?
For the monthly pay.
Oh. I'm cycling up through my money chart. It's not a chart. That's a note. 3,600 for job average.
So is that that is the job average, not subtracting the cost of living?
Yeah. Yeah, so minus normal cost of living, you get 3,000 a month.
All right, and based on those roles, Gorgo being freelance, you will get 110%.
Nothing. You get nothing. Taxes. The taxes took it all.
Goddamn taxes.
So you get
So remember to vote.
6,300.
A fine is a tax on doing bad. A tax is a fine on doing well.
Everyone else succeeded their job roles, so everyone gets paid their normal
Except me.
pays. Except you, because you've been bad.
Sad face. Hey, he drew first. I shot him. It was justified.
Okay, so since I have money for it, could I purchase a Power Stone 35?
Okay, that is going to be a pretty beefy Power Stone. What's the cost on that? The value?
27,000.
Wow, you've got that much lying around. Damn
My
one
cash on
percenters,
hand
man.
is 36 grand.
1%ers, man.
I've got almost 80.
1%ers.
All right, so what I'll get you to do is first make a reaction roll. If there's any magical traits or other traits that might be appropriate, add them.
That'd be if you have any talents. I don't know. Do you have any talents?
Talents is in sorcerer's talents?
Sure.
I don't.
I don't know why that wouldn't
I
work.
don't think so. I think I only picked up the sorcerer's empowerment. I don't think I picked up any talent for Shard.
Do you have the merchant skill at 15 or greater?
No, it's
I
20.
do not have the merchant skill at all.
Is it 20? I thought it was
It's
15.
It's one if you have. It's one if you have it at all, and 2 if you have it at 20.
Right, so do you have merchant at all?
I do not.
Okay, so the base price for that is going to be the 26 grand or whatever it was.
27. Yeah.
And you will have to get in contact with a talismonger. You will have this power stone. Are you going to attempt to merchant a better price?
Nope.
Alright, then you can pay up.
Are you gonna attempt to laser his face off?
I will get you to roll 3d6. On a 6 or less, there is a power stone quirk.
3, 3, 3. Boo!
I think the GM automatically has luck and should require 3 rolls anytime he wants.
That sounds kind of cheaty to me.
GM has extraordinary luck every 10 minutes.
Down, lying, cheating cheater.
Alright, so you'll have a perfectly good power stone at however many points it was, 35 points.
Indeed.
But you will be a lot less rich.
I will be. But I will be rich enough.
I'm going to keep that when you die.
That's fair.
All right. So, any other bookkeeping?
That's a negative Ghost Rider.
All right. So this adventure builds on a bunch of adventures we've done previously. Those adventures are Copycat Killer, which had someone going around pretending to be a serial killer from previously. I don't remember all the details, but that involved...
McAllister's kid.
Yes, McAllister's daughter was killed in that.
And unfortunately for that poor wannabe copycat killer, we gave him to McAllister.
That was Mission 6.
Correct.
Yeah, I got the date.
It also builds on Rally Cry and On a Silver Platter, Burn, and Assassination Nation. All these somehow involve the Orc Underground, Proposition 23, the various parties that are opposed to Prop 23, and Humanus Polyclub.
See, Rally Cry was Mission 4, Copycat Killer was Mission 6, Silver Platter 7.
Copycat Killer was 5A.
Well, it's 6 on YouTube.
Silver Platter was 5B.
It is 7 on YouTube. What was the other one? Burn. That's
Burn
9.
was 7.
9 on YouTube.
And Assassination Nation.
Is it really Assassination Nation? I thought it was Assassination.
No, it's just Assassination. Unless somebody did it wrong on YouTube.
It could be Assassination. I think it's actually Assassination. It's just in the module here it has Assassination Nation. Alright, for reference, this is a little bit meta. Anyone that has McAllister as a contact,
Yep.
McAllister is unavailable. He's keeping a low profile. So I'll only let you contact McAllister.
Wait, I don't have McAllister.
I thought you did.
Thought I did. Thought I did too.
Well, somebody had it.
I think it was Book. No.
If it wasn't Frey, it was probably Book.
Well, if you do have him as a contact, only on a critical will he be available to you. Otherwise, he is keeping a low profile.
That is really weird. I thought somebody had it too, and I don't have him listed as a contact for anybody in the contacts. I guess that's easy enough then. Jester had him as a contact.
Right. Alrighty then.
Alright, well, we shall begin. What does DXM stand for as well?
Deus Ex Machina.
So you actually went with that.
Guess nobody had a better idea.
Nobody had a better idea. And that's what the name is in the on the boards. You have GURPS Shadowrun, Deus Ex Machina. Yeah, Machina.
Well, there you go. DXM it is, unless you die or I find someone better.
Exactly.
Alright, the past few months have been grueling. Kidnappings, sabotage, assassinations, and arson. Actually, I will show you this fluff bit. It's like Seattle itself has gone completely insane and taken her populace with her. Given the rumours about cities actually having spirits, this may be closer to the truth than people would like to admit. Then again, this is all just business as usual, and you just haven't had enough sleep. Tensions are high due to tomorrow's special election. Will Prop 23 pass or fail? No one knows. And as tired as you are, you don't have the energy to care. The horizon will be lightening soon as dawn breaks, and the weatherman is calling for a bright sunny day. It's time for all naughty little Shadowrunners to be in bed. But just as you go vertical, your comlink buzzes, and your favourite fixer, which should be
The real Claudia.
the real Claudia, and that is in fact her Twitter handle, the real Claudia. She is on the line. Oh, shut your gob, the fixer says, cutting off any complaints about the early hour. Stop whining. This is business. I've got work coming out of my ears today, and you're top of my list. Don't worry, this is an easy one. You'll get a quick grand for just meeting with Mr. Johnson, and then you'll have to do one little job that shouldn't take more than an hour. You'll be back in that poor excuse for bed before lunch. I promise. Meet up at Yak's Donut Shop within an hour. Mr. Johnson is springing for breakfast.
Where's
Yak's Donut? There you go. If it's not one thing, it's another. But free donuts and 1,000 yen per person just for listening to the pitch, might as well hear the man out, right?
Sure.
Well, now we can literally say we won't get out of bed for less than a grand.
Ah,
I had to work today. It's crunch time on the party time account.
Ah, this is true. Who has regular day jobs?
Sure.
So it is in the middle of the week, your regular day job.
Actually, if this is election day, then it's possible they make that into a holiday and everybody's got the day off.
probably not. Corps are in charge.
Well,
remember?
it's the day before election day.
Oh, it's Monday.
Actually, yes,
No,
it is.
Oh, okay.
I think I mentioned that.
I thought it said it was. We had just got. It just turned over. It's like super early on Tuesday.
One moment while I check.
Bad GM. Bad.
It's the day before. Tensions are high due to tomorrow's special election.
Right. So it's Monday.
Which
I
makes it
gotta
twice as
fix
bad.
everything.
Sounds like a perfect day to call in sick.
Yeah, but it's crunch time. They'll make it without me.
I'll reach out to everybody. Who needs a ride?
I'm already in my car.
Where were we meeting?
At that place.
Yak's Donut Shop. It is on the corner of Cherry Street and 4th Avenue.
Is that downtown? Yeah, it's probably going to be a little out of my way. Yeah, I'll probably drive myself over there. If we end up needing to consolidate rides, we can do that.
All right, so those of you with work commitments, how do you
Before the day starts, isn't it?
Yeah, if dawn is just breaking, it is probably before work even started.
This is true. Well, you're going to be going on a mission of some sort, most likely. So you'll have to consider how it is you're going to brush work.
No, the supervisor will be, or the project manager will be surprised to realize that I had already put in for a vacation day for today.
You used up all your sick days.
No, I've always got like 100 sick days.
Always.
Even though you take sick
Always.
days.
They never understand how that keeps happening.
But they've never bothered to go and check the records and the logs to see why it is. They obviously don't care enough.
There's some kind of screw up in the accrual, like a percentage point, or like a couple of decimals below the display.
So the math actually works out, and they're like, "Well, yeah, okay."
All right. Tucked away in a little corner between the Stuffer Shack and Tab's Tactical Talismans is a dingy little donut shop that looks barely able to hold 3 people.
Hey, I was just here a few days ago.
There are more than 3 people here.
Looks can be deceiving, however. Inside, the shop stretches back far enough to allow for 16 small tables and dozens of chairs. It's a
Bigger
TARDIS.
on the inside.
The usual low-level wage slave crowd is flowing in and out with their breakfast-to-go orders, while a few sit scattered around the shop, flecks of powdered sugar falling around them like snow as they eat. The Muzak, which I'm sure there's a reason why it's pronounced this way or spelt this way.
There is.
It is. That's what it's called.
It's-
Muzak.
It's a brand name.
The Muzak
Music.
plays a happy, upbeat tune, but there are no smiles on these faces. Everyone is watching everyone else out the corners of their eyes. The customers are actively avoiding physical contact, even with the people they are eating with. Many of the wage slaves have even shut down their PANs, that's personal access networks, though a few of the braver people broadcasting "Down with 23" or "Say Yes to Freedom" messages. There is a moment when you worry about how you'll find Mr. Johnson. Then you spot a red-faced, portly man sitting in the far back corner at the table with several empty chairs, a pile of donut boxes, and enough soy calf to drown a swordfish. Wonderful. A newbie. Just what you need. But a well-dressed noob in a bland grey suit that is tailored, not rack-bought, with designer shoes whose AROs proclaim them to be the footwear of kings. He eyes you warily as you sit down, looking for obvious weapons, relaxes when you give him the name of your fix-up, Claudia. Oh, good. It's you. Strangers have been trying to take my donuts all morning. He opens up the box and passes it around. So, how would you like to start a riot?
That's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
How would I like to start a riot?
But before that, which donut do you grab out of the box?
Maple.
Maple.
Cruller.
Alright, so you grab the Canadian maple donut,
Frost grabs something with icing on it.
frosting.
Frey has the quirk that he's a picky eater, so he's gonna look over them and then just slide it on to Gorgo because they're none of them really fit the stuff that he eats.
Alright, and Gorgo, you grab the jelly-filled. Is it a heated jelly-filled or a cold jelly-filled?
It's both.
There's heated jelly filled?
Don't you guys have a heated jelly-filled donuts?
I've never seen any.
Sometimes they have been. Sometimes they're warm when you eat them. Sometimes they're not.
Oh, if you have jelly donuts, stick them in the microwave. It's the best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan's like, I'm gonna need 20 minutes, guys. I need to run to the store really quick.
No, I'm not a jelly donut guy. Maple all the way, or sour cream glazed.
That's the Canadian
Friggin'
influence.
Canadians.
Sorry.
Pretty much.
Oh, I put some syrup on my donut, eh?
Okay, now I really want to try that.
So, are you guys interested in starting a riot?
For
Details,
what
please.
purpose?
You ask for what purpose?
No, why would you ask that? You don't care what purpose it is. That's not the biz.
Well,
Give me a Gorgo. Since you asked, give me a reaction roll, please.
What modifiers can I put in?
If you have any particular reputation or anything like that, then you can add those.
Is this guy young or experienced?
No, he's not young and naive.
Would he be considered an experienced NPC?
For the purposes of the reaction, yes.
he's not going to know you're overconfident until you show him. Well, then again, if you're about to show him.
In the box or out in the open?
You can do it out in the open. He will give you a look at, sort of acknowledging that you asked him the question, but then he turns away as someone else speaks.
Okay.
What are the specifics?
He says, later this morning at Spring Street and 24th Avenue downtown, there's a polling station that is set up specifically to take or control sized voters. I need you to start a riot there between Humanus and the Sons of Sauron.
Okay, do we know who the Sons of Sauron are? I have my suspicions.
I don't think you have encountered the Sons of Sauron before.
It don't sound familiar.
Okay, is this a Orc Underground thing or a Seattle thing?
You're asking that to this guy?
No, I'm asking this to the GM for area knowledge.
One second.
Current affairs gangs.
Yeah, I have politics and Shadowrunners.
Well, you've also got at least 2 gangs that are contacts of yours.
Yeah, that's true. I probably do need that, don't I? What would that be? Would that be just people? Or would it just be current affairs gangs?
Honestly, I think that would probably fall under Streetwise. Yeah, that would probably make the most sense.
If you roll Streetwise.
Nope.
Why the hell not?
I think somebody rolled decently. I'm not that somebody. Okay, so let me rephrase that. Everybody rolled decently except me. That's appropriate.
Yeah, but you'll still kill everyone.
All
I'm
right,
going
so
to try to avoid killing everybody.
the module doesn't detail any specific notes on Sons of Sauron, so
Sounds like an orc gang, I'm presuming.
you can reference the wiki if you successfully rolled.
Can you
Actually-
put that actually in the comments field, the actual names? You said humans and Sons of Sauron?
The Sons of Sauron.
Okay, apparently it is exactly that, yes. Simple enough.
He goes on to say the District 6 station at Lefty's Lane is a battered and run-down old bowling alley. It is expected to see the most traffic during the election tomorrow, with many of the district's voters expected to vote for Proposition 23. Protest permits have been given to both Humanus and Sons of Sauron for today, but the groups are required to remain on opposite sides of the street. Knight Errant will have a presence to keep these things from getting out of hand, but with the rising level of violence in the city, they're going to have their hands full. What I need is for Humanus and the Sons of Sauron to cause as much collateral damage as possible. I need these two parties to cross the street, and I need the violence to spread as far down the block as possible.
Collateral damage means civilians.
He says, of course I don't want people getting killed, but if a few get trampled, that's okay.
I'm already trying to figure out how we would start a riot like that.
Well, just to be thinking out loud here, I'm thinking we don't do civilians.
He says, well, Humanus and Sons of Sauron aren't exactly civilians.
Yeah, we've got, we have had negative interactions with the Humanist guys.
Yeah, definitely got no problems causing trouble with Humanus. And frankly, the Sons of Sauron are probably just as bad on the other side of it, but there's no way this doesn't get civilians hurt and or killed.
Just out of character, but we could get blanks and kind of shoot them in the air. That might freak some people out, get them going. The other aspect is to mix in with the group and start egging people on to cross the lane using our fast talk, leadership, psychology, all that stuff.
If they are present, getting them to fight is probably going to be no trouble at all. The trick is whether or not they're both present.
What, the Humanus and Sons of Sauron?
I mean, we can make an assumption that they'll be present, but we don't know that they will be.
Yeah, he said they've both been given the opportunity to protest or whatever.
Yeah, they've both got protest permits for today.
Okay. That's odd. Okay, whatever. So they've specifically invited terrorist groups to come protest.
Well, they didn't invite, but I guess they applied. Yeah, freedom of speech, all that stuff.
Well, yeah. So any of those particular methods might kick the thing off.
No, but I see what Daniel's saying. The fact that this could very badly endanger a bunch of civilians, that's problematic.
Look, I'm sure once things start to heat up, those parties that do not want to be part of the violence, they're likely to leave the area quick smart. If you feel you need to babysit some people and get them out of there to avoid getting them hurt, I'll leave that up to you. But the mission at hand is to start a riot between these two parties. It is a tinderbox, and I'm sure the slightest thing will set it off.
I'll whisper to Frey. How much are we going to get paid?
Well, you've been given an offer of $1,000 just to show up.
No, I was whispering to Frey because I'm not saying it out loud because I noticed the poor reaction I had from this guy. So I'm basically wanting Frey to ask, so how much are you going to pay for us to do this?
Yeah.
I'm still not comfortable with the idea in the first place.
I was when Brian said this is a thing during election day, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be one of those, isn't it? Where it's going to be like, but that's unfortunately the business. And how much is this riot worth to you?
It should be a quick job. The protest starts at 8 p.m. Oh, sorry, 8 a.m.
Oh, I was about to say, crap, man.
But the riot should not get going until 9 a.m. You have roughly 2 hours. For this work, willing to pay each of you 3,000 to do this job. If you wish to negotiate a better price, now's the time to roll for merchant, if that is what you wish to do.
Fortunately, I think though the person with merchant is the guy who got the poor reaction.
Well, let's
Actually,
see how
I've
do.
got merchant, and I will be talking him up if I decide to go with this. I'm just trying to figure out how do I get out of this whole civilian business, because you can't really separate them.
Well, I doubt the civilians are necessarily going to be mixed in with the terrorist groups in particular. And if they
I
are,
think that's virtually guaranteed.
That's so we might want to be there. If we incite it, we also help to evac people from the area as the riot is ensuing.
Well, you could probably, if you wish to start the riot, you could do it, in a slow burn method, so things start getting a little tense. The civilians that are just here to protest will likely go, well, I'm leaving. Whereas if you just shoot someone and kick it off straight away, then there's likely to be civilians caught in it. So I guess it could come down to how you start the riot.
Yeah, that's a lot of social stuff. Right. Okay.
Well, what is everybody's leaning at this point?
I'm not the biggest fan of it.
I mean, if
So-
all we get is $1,000 for showing up to say no, I'm okay with that.
So sounds like we're all raising an eyebrow here. It's possible we could figure out something to get to at least limit the civilian involvement. Although that's going to take a bit of doing, I expect.
So, your Johnson will notice that you are a little cold on this. And
Quite
he
a bit leery towards the note. Once he goes, okay, I need to do a riot. And we're like, okay.
So he leans forward and says, look, I need a reliable crew on retainer for future jobs. I know this one might be a little a step over the line for you people by the looks of it, but you do seem like professionals, and your fixer led me to believe that you can be relied on. If this goes down well, you will have future work. I'm willing to offer 4,000 to each of you to get this job done.
What's that for?
Wondering if I'd actually be willing to start a riot.
All right, so just again thinking out loud.
So this is not in character.
This is not in character. We could take the job understanding that if we don't take the job, he's going to hire somebody else to do it.
That way, if we take the job, then at least we know we can mitigate any potential damage that might be caused by this.
Which may be the best result we can get.
In that case, I'm in.
All right. Frost is going to say, I want 5. And I'm going to roll shit.
I'm gonna
Well,
back
you
him
rolled
up.
by 0, so that's not complete shit. It's just mostly shit.
So Gorgo will assist. So that will be a succeed by 1.
He will embellish that by adding that the possibility of collateral damage, as you said, is very much against our normal rules of engagement.
So you want 5. You succeed by 1. He will say, if you can see to it that a little damage is caused to the restaurants in the area, then I'll give you the extra bonus.
Well, at least that'll be covered by insurance.
Whoa, this whole thing is an insurance scam.
Anybody out? Presumably not.
No, I'm clearly not super comfortable with this, but this is definitely not my bag because, my bag is go in and start shooting the people, and
Yeah.
that doesn't cause a riot, that causes a massacre.
Well, I do have the psychology and leadership skills, and
Drink.
To help get them going.
Especially psychology. He's got psychology.
Yeah. Now that actually will come up here because we are going to have to manage the psychology of the crowd in order to get the civilians to get out of the friggin' way. But for the time being, we will, I guess, agree.
So he goes over a few details. Not until 9 a.m. I need as much violence between these two parties as possible and as much collateral damage as you can arrange. The restaurants in the area, if you can swing some damage to them, you'll get your bonus.
So which one of these sides is dressed up like Antifa? Actually, both sides are going to be dressed up like Antifa, aren't they?
Yeah, probably.
Except
probably
one will
all gonna
be
armed.
One will be metahumans, the other will be non-metahumans.
KKK.
So we can at least tell which side is which, for the most part.
You'll probably find any civilians are probably staying away from those parties anyway.
Well, now we can probably manage that a little bit by passing word around that they're going to be there and for people who don't want to be involved to stay away from that area.
Might want to head over now. That way we can start mingling in the crowd and trying to entice people to get away that shouldn't be there.
I don't think going face to face is going to be particularly effective here. We're not going to be able to affect enough people to make it worthwhile. I have some thoughts in that regard, but I'll get to those in a minute.
If you get stuck for some riot starting ideas, you can make a tactics roll, and I can give you a list.
Oh, wow.
Did I have that?
I got a 10 in it.
I think I had that.
Woo!
Wow. Well, you got some though. Do you want me to help or do you? I'll just roll.
Neener.
Yeah, whatever. I might have. No, I can't think of how I'd get my TAC net bonus in there. But just so you know what I'm thinking, if there are any electronic billboards in the area, and I'm thinking there probably are, do the Jumbotron thing, but do a little quickie deep fake of somebody pointing guns.
Alright, so...
Yeah, what is the...
Did that share?
Yes.
Yep.
What is the armaments policy in the area right now? Are they any special rules in that regard? Are they disarming these people?
Throw a rock or grenade at the crowd. This is such a complicated.
Okay, so you asked this of your Johnson. He says, I'm not sure. I'm sure Knight Errant will be doing their rounds, ensuring that no one's carrying anything they shouldn't be allowed or aren't allowed to, but I don't know if there's any special plans in place for
that. No, as to Gorgo's suggestion before, I think that what you would be looking for is simulators. The basically firecrackers designed to sound like gunshots. And yeah, if we have some simulators on both sides that go off, that's probably going to be enough to kick it off.
Well, let's go get that then. Let's go buy some simulators.
But
Should
if you
be
do,
easy enough.
if you do firecrackers and stuff like that, that's going to imply shoosting. So it might start a shoosting riot.
Well, their very first one is generating an illusion of a Ninth Errant officer firing into the crowd.
Well, how about this? I could pretend to be part of the humanist group and physically go across the barrier and egg on the other side.
And then
Well,
when
you
you
could,
get
but
your
that might
head
get you
split,
shot.
And then I run
or arrested
really
by
fast.
Knight Errant for crossing the
Yeah.
barrier.
we're like, what we see is, him get all foobarred and go, yeah, we don't know him.
There's nothing wrong with
We
starting
have,
a shoosting riot, but you wanted to avoid potential civilian casualties.
Yeah. Having experienced a year of friggin' riots over here, I think we can all agree that civilians are going to get caught up, regardless
Shoot.
of what kind of riot it is.
I could probably just go up to somebody and start whispering in their ear. You see that guy over there? He called your mama a baby.
Don't you think he
but
looks
see-
tired?
Yeah. No, honestly, pretty much anything you could think of could probably work here. But whoever does a physical thing is likely going to be on video doing it. So that's a thing to be concerned of.
That's why talking may be the best option, just going up to someone and egging them on.
Again, you're putting your face out there. And that's fine. If you wanted your face to attach to this, then that's your business. But no, honestly, I think of all the things on that list, the fire hydrant, while probably the least likely to start a fight, is probably also the least destructive thing one could do.
Keep in mind though, your Johnson actually wants you to cause some damage to buildings and smashed windows and all that sort of stuff.
And of course, none of us have any ability to deal with spirits for the most part.
But how about the hack into a protester's AR and feed them a vision of the opposition crossing the barriers? That one is doable. And we could do that even from a distance.
Well, that's kind of what I was talking about with the Jumbotron. Same basic principle. Yeah, no, there are any number of ways you could use some misinformation to kick that off.
Not that you have to use any of these suggested ideas. You can, of course, come up with your own.
Well, I think most of these ideas actually cover the stuff we talked about already before on our own. And of course, there's no reason we have to rely on one method either. So I've got no problems with sitting back somewhere and trying to do the AR Jumbotron web-based method. While somebody else wants to go up there and punch somebody, you're welcome to.
No thanks. I may egg someone else to do it, but I won't do it myself.
Well, I mean, with your body language and psychology, you could probably get somebody. You could find a guy that's willing to go punch another guy.
That's also, like I said, my empathy helps. I can just
No,
being
that is
around
definitely
someone.
a perfectly good use of it.
I'd be like, oh, this guy is itching for a fight. Let me go whisper and, just egg him over and direct it to somebody across the barrier.
All right. Well, for Frost's part, he is actually going to do two things. He is going to try to get some kind of Jumbotron AR thing going where it looks like that Humanus and the Sauron guys are planning to fight. And the second thing he's going to do is pass that information on to civilians in the area, telling them, yeah, you probably shouldn't go there. And just spread the idea of property damage and that sort of thing. I mean, it's probably pretty easy to tag some of these places as being racist one way or the other. That is a big C.
So I like combining a couple of these options where we have Gorgo is basically doing a sweep, a visual sweep, and go, that guy is clearly planning on causing some trouble. And then you could theoretically, and once he's identified the target, then Frost could do the hack into that guy's AR and feed him an opposite, vision.
Yeah.
So
Frey has
combination.
a silencer, doesn't he?
Maybe.
Could potentially pick off some, like if somebody's got a gun, you shoot his gun or something like that. Shooting some non-specific targets with a silencer may be subtle enough. Or you could shoot the fire hydrant, for example. Little things. The hell would Shard do?
He doesn't have any illusion-y stuff, does he?
No, nothing illusory. It's all, I can maybe do something with light, but I don't know how useful that would be. But apart from that, most of my spells revolve around making somebody stop permanently, which isn't the best in this situation.
Well, what else can he do?
I don't know. I'm going to look at his skills or his spells and see. Come on, use your spells in an interesting way.
I was thinking of not spells.
One thing to also consider is that Johnson wants this riot to spread down the street, down the block. So,
that riot's by itself. That's going to happen. Once the crap starts, it's going to be hard to control where it goes.
Yeah, he asked us to set a grass fire. We don't have much control over where that grass fire goes afterward, but
you might be able to blow the grass fire in a particular direction.
He's got spasm and pain and
Oh, yeah.
ignite fire.
Yeah, you could totally mess with some people.
Apportation.
That's true. I was
Any of
thinking
them carrying smoke grenades? Why don't you discreetly pull the pin on one of them from, 20 yards away? Hell, you might be able to do that on some of the knight errant guys.
All you gotta do is use spasm to
wanna
make
do
somebody
that.
think somebody bumped into him.
All right. So, do you accept the mission from your Johnson?
We did accept, yes.
All right. So he will forward you the $1,000 each for attending the meeting, and he tells you you'll get your payment upon results.
That's the business.
He will stand.
HCS, what is that? K is probably knight errant.
So K is not errant.
Humanish, Sons of Khan. What's the C?
Cities.
Oh, okay.
While in between these, there's like some movement of these parties because you've got the sidewalks there, and there'll be people trafficking back and forth. So it's not clear, distinct groups.
Where exactly is the polling place?
Lefty's Lane. There.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the Humanus and Sauron guys are restricted to the areas where they are in there, and the barriers are meant to keep people out.
They keep people out from where the knight errant people are standing. That is like the buffer zone. No one is meant to be past the barriers for this protest, though you'll see the arrow there that I've drawn.
Right.
And the other side of the street, you've got people
Sidewalks.
able to move back and forth, and there is some mixing. While there is like the distinct identifiable groups, there is back and forth. There's people all along these barriers.
Okay, so one of the things that we can do, whoever can make that happen, is actually just knock down one of the barriers. Because as soon as that thing's open, if things are getting rowdy, then somebody's going to spill through it.
There's people carrying signs.
GURPS? Question mark.
New and exciting retail products.
Seriously?
Yeah, when I did Shadowruns at the Gen Con last time we went, you could use NERPs for like special roles and stuff during con games.
Gotcha.
Okay, so first thing you probably want to do is scout out the area. Go get a look-see of what you're dealing with.
Yeah, we're going to have to find, at least Frost is going to have to find a spot where he can see what's going on and potentially do his business.
Well,
International House of Waffles.
I was kind of looking at that.
Give me observation rolls. And I want actual observation rolls, not perception. So if you don't have observation, it defaults to perception -5. This will determine the sort of infos that you get.
I see the dice are going to be schizophrenic again.
Alright, so we've got successes all round. Alright, so the situation is that you've got Humanus, Sons of Sauron, and the general public identified by those tokens. You've got roughly 15 or so knight-errant officers in Riot gear. You can identify a couple of knight-errant mages in that group, and there's also a canine team there as well. Their dogs are sitting quietly, scanning the crowd, held by leashes and stuff like that. There is yelling across the barriers from the various parties. You see posters being displayed. I showed you two. I'm just going to show you all these so you can have a read. But these are displayed everywhere. There's a whole bunch. Have a look and close it as you see fit.
Do police canine dogs, do they have cyberware, I wonder?
There's no reason why they can't.
Food for thought.
I probably should show these to our audience. So you've got these various posters being displayed, and why these posters have Shadowrun missions all on the top, no one seems to know why. It's just the way posters have been done for copyright reasons, I guess.
They keep using the same generic stationery for it.
You'll have people in the crowd saying, "What is this Shadowrun's mission? I see it everywhere. I never found out." And I don't know.
I'm gonna make sure that when I go into any of the crowds, I have kind of like a medic symbol on my shoulder or my arm.
Okay. So you'll display that. I guess it will give you some degree of respect from those that are around.
And you will lose a degree of anonymity.
There is also press here. You see there's a reporter from KSAF. And there is also a familiar face, Joe Martin from Newsnet.
Stay away from him, Gorgo. He's just going to ask questions.
That guy. And so far, while it's still like, roughly 2 hours before you're supposed to do stuff, the riot is supposed to, or the protest is supposed to begin at 8 o'clock, but there's plenty of people here early, and you can see that the crowds are gathering. And if this was Detroit, there would be an Ed 209 unit standing off to the side.
Well, why not here?
Well, I mean, Knight of Rock got the contract.
There are some drones that buzz overhead as well.
Whose drones?
So you will easily identify the Knight Errant drones and the news network drones because they are clearly labelled. There are some other drones that buzz around as well.
Crash it.
Mm-hmm.
Make it look like the Humanist Poly Club did it.
They did have some hackery types. Well, not that that's necessarily unusual in these days. But yeah, definitely if I can pin something on somebody specific.
Make it be those assholes.
I am going to get started early with the chatbots, basically talking about fisticuffs imminent.
Should also spam their respective, I don't know, Discord servers or whatnot to start encouraging both sides to be more belligerent than normal.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want to start. You don't want to start things too early. You have to start at 9 o'clock. It does seem to be time sensitive.
Is there something going on at 9? Is there something on the schedule at 9?
There is not.
I think what I will do is
when both sides say, hey, there's a rumor that they're going to start some crap at 9:30, so we should all jump them at 9.
Something like that, but I think what I'm going to do is say there's going to be a signal on the Jumbotron or such and such a billboard or whatever that's in the area, and then make that signal actually happen.
It's going to be a giant penis.
Or whatever.
Straight out of Fight Club. It needs to be V from Vendetta. For V from Vendetta. Yeah, V from Vendetta. Yeah, man, I can't speak, can I?
So is there any particular preparation that you guys want to do?
Aside from that, somebody going to do simulators? Do we need that?
Are we trying to avoid a shootout, or are we more just want fisticuffs?
We are not going to be able to control what happens.
Yeah, but we can control what we do to start it.
If they have guns, they are going to use them. They are not going to restrain themselves.
Do we get the impression that the Sons of Soren are definitely anti-humans?
Oh yeah, they're they're terrorists.
It doesn't necessarily make them anti-human.
No, I mean they are racist terrorists on the opposite side of humanus.
Okay.
But
They
is
are-
it just straight? Are they straight pro metahuman, or are they just straight pro orc?
Based on the picture I saw, it was trolls, orcs, all metahumans.
Yeah, because I think the orcs generally look down on elves.
That I don't know.
Somebody who's more familiar with the Shadowrun setting would have to speak up about that.
There is like racial animosity between all the metahumans. You know, some degree. You know, it's not all buddy. In the orc underground, though, it is mostly orcs and trolls, but there are some elves and dwarves that hang out there as well. So, yeah, I don't know. There is, I guess, orcs prefer elves before they prefer humans. If they're in their races, if they're racial profiling, and then, you know, elves, I guess, would prefer metahumans over humans. I'm not sure on that one. But these two particular groups are, you know, carbon copies of each other, just on different sides of the fence. So humanists are the KKK, and Sons of Sauron are the inverse KKK.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that I would want to do to prep. Everything that I'd want to do would involve me getting into a clock tower with a sniper rifle. And that seems like it'd be bad.
Well, it depends on what you're shooting at.
Well,
What if I'm shooting
Gorgo-
at you?
so what I'm thinking is Gorgo would be on the humanist side. He would be wearing his medical badge. Basically, that'll give him a certain level of respect. And then he'll
traitor.
be
I'm gonna have
chumming
to
it up.
shoot you.
He'll be chumming it up with people and then trying to pinpoint the one person that seems to be ready to go over the edge and basically prime him up so that when it's time, you know, say the last couple words and boom, he's running across the aisle.
Actually, yeah, if
And you're going to do this with your medical badge on. You know, you guys should really get into a fight.
They won't know any difference. I'm just here. I'm here to patch you up afterwards. I need clients. I need clientele.
As you try and, you know, fire up tensions, you'll probably get comments from people going, "You just want work, don't you? You're just here to get some extra work." But
That, and I don't like those orc guys.
he's clearly a street dog. Does Frey have gel rounds or memory baton or anything like that?
Maybe.
Because you could potentially use something like that to knock down the barriers.
Does not look like I have anything listed there. I have a thermobaric round, but that might not be what you want me to use.
That's
I'll
probably
get
a little
IQ
heavy.
rolls. Sorry, not IQ. Perception rolls from everyone. This is just straight perception, no modifiers or anything on it.
Change my mind. I'm going to sushi bar.
Are we rolling perception?
Sounds like the riot's already started at your house.
It's just straight perception. Given the... let's see. We'll go with Frost since you succeeded by the most. As you're sort of thinking over this stuff and, thinking back to what your Johnson requested and the timing of all this, you feel there is a possible link between the restaurants and the time that the Johnson has requested that this go down. What that might be, you're not sure of, but you just got this gut feeling that there's something else at play which makes the timing important, and it might have something to do with the restaurants.
Well, once
It's when they open.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, the restaurant's already open.
Open really early. Once the chatbots and everything are doing their thing, Frost is actually going to start looking up all these shops around the area, looking for news stories, points of interest. And I did eventually put points into current affairs business if that's a possible thing.
Alright, so despite your efforts, there doesn't seem to be anything particularly relevant that hits you in the face and says, this is happening.
Especially if they're all owned by the same company, for example. Or rented from the same company, etc.
You have tactics, yes, Frost?
It does.
Give me a tactics roll.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, I'm turning on ESR or whatever the hell it was.
Well, there's probably so many signals here that it is just like lagging.
I am probably going to limit it to a certain range. Wow. Yeah,
Right, so
schizophrenic.
Intelligence analysis could have probably worked as well. So,
Damn it.
So if you want to roll, substitute your tactics for intelligence analysis.
Well,
that's fine.
it's not going to do
that's
much
by
different.
7.
I don't think I'm going to do better.
No, but you could say the roll was intelligence analysis for the point of purpose of pointing points into it.
They are the same level.
So was that a tactics or an intelligence analysis? This would be only for points purposes, or increasing them.
Given what I was doing here, intelligence analysis would make more sense.
All right, so you can't find any obvious thing with the restaurants or anything like that. So more than likely, it's something that's going to be going on inside the restaurants at that time.
Well, if I have time before it kicks off, I can start hitting security cameras in the area to see who's in there. Start bouncing off the comlink feeds. And
so there's no other sort of advanced prep that you want to do?
Actually, I may send a drone out to do that.
I'm trying to think of anything that would be appropriate. I'm going to be in the pet store. I
Next
gotta
to the
get some
dogs.
food. Yeah, I gotta get some food for my dog.
Do you have a dog, or are you thinking about getting a dog? Maybe today's the day that you get your dog.
Well, if the pet storefront gets all blown up, a dog might escape.
Which reminds me, Frey, did you have a dependent? Was Alice a dependent or a contact?
She was both. I think yes.
Can you roll to see if she's going to be caught up in this riot?
I guess it
That'd
wouldn't
be
have made
about right,
sense
wouldn't
to roll that in the box because it's not like I wouldn't know. Man, where the heck is my pizza?
You guys are starting a riot. Pizza delivery is going to take time.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go downstairs to see if the guy came there and just left it outside. That'd be about right.
they do that sometimes?
And you expect the pizza to be there for very long?
Yeah. I don't think anybody else in the apartment complex is going to be brazen enough to just go grab it. I hear voices from down there. You may have just caught the guy. The pizza guy, not the apartment guy. Shard. What was Shard doing? Is he actually going to position himself somewhere?
Uh-huh.
If he's going to do the spasm and whatnot. If Gorgo's hitting the Humanist side, you might as well hit the other side.
But I'm not them, though.
Yeah, he would stick out like a sore thumb. He would be better off
A Thor thumb?
sore thumb.
I could
Frey
disguise you.
would be more likely to intermingle on the Sons of Soren side.
Well, he'd already said he was going to be in the pet store. Now I could give Shard some elf ears if he wants.
No, he's gonna go over and get some frickin' waffles. Damn, waffles sound good.
Don't they?
Are any of you guys doing disguises? Disguising your appearance?
That's a damn fine question. Do I even have the disguise skill? I do not have the disguise skill, so nope.
Frost
Neither
is
do
gonna,
I.
Frost is going to wear some makeup to confuse facial rec. But that's probably a bit of an SOP.
Well, if you're wearing mask and sunglasses, I don't think you need to have any makeup on.
Sometimes
Everybody's wearing masks and sunglasses.
it's got to be a little bit of both in a lot of cases.
Is there a reason Gorgo had 2 fatigue, or is that just there for something else?
I think it was from last round.
No, he was exercising when he got the call.
He forgot to fix it.
Alright, it's fixed now. Alright, so no other advanced prep. You will have time to do additional prep. I just want to read you the next cutscene.
If anybody does want disguise, I have the skill and I have a kit.
The filter mask, that covers the whole face.
Yeah.
So I'll be wearing the filter mask.
That's going to make you stand out.
Yeah, but at least they won't see my face.
They might just arrest you instead.
There are
Oh,
there are a bunch of people here that have clearly, got masks and stuff like that are intentionally hiding their identity for whatever reason.
Gosh,
they
they're not
plan
going to
trouble,
start trouble at all.
or they just don't want to be identified as a protester or something like that. But there are people getting around doing that.
so I'll wear the filter mask, and then I'll have the medical band on me.
He's not suspicious at all.
Well, if you are going to disguise and you have the skill, then feel free to roll.
What is the skill at whatever?
Look
If you
it
don't
up.
The
have it.
default.
Look it up.
I'm looking.
Actually, do we have the traits on here? So what is that? That's going to be... No, that's traits. You want abilities,
No.
skills.
Not loaded.
Damn.
Actually, I don't know if I have a module for all the skills.
Yeah, maybe we did.
IQ
We hadn't
minus
worked that up
1.
yet.
One, really? Figured it'd be higher than that.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
What's the default?
Actually, I wonder if mine actually says that. No, it doesn't, of course. It is IQ average, so it's probably IQ minus 5. I've got -1 with 1 point in it. Well, and there are bonuses based on how disguised you're trying to be, and whether or not you're trying to disguise yourself as a specific person or just someone else.
Okay, defaults to IQ -5 or makeup -3.
I can't get over the fact that there's a makeup skill.
You modifiers are +4 if you have elastic skin.
Do you have elastic skin?
No.
You are -1 to -5 to disguise yourself as someone very different from yourself.
That can work.
I'm
like
just
a gunkin.
I just don't want to be recognizable, as I'm just hiding my face.
Well, if you're wearing a filter mask that's full face, then you don't have to worry about that.
Alright, so you will be at no penalties to just look different, unless you want to look like an orc when you're not an orc.
He's got purple hair instead of whatever color his hair is normal.
Put a phony beard on, or whatever.
Yeah, he's wearing the glasses with the big nose and the mustache.
And considering he succeeded by 0, it actually looks convincing.
It actually looks like he's got a big nose and a mustache. And he needs glasses.
Alright, so Gorgo is disguised. Frost, you're masked. Frey and Shard, you guys doing anything to conceal your identities?
I have a filter mask with me, but I'm probably not wearing it while I'm, mucking about in the store.
Frey, you probably have more reason to conceal your identity since there are knight-errant officers.
Yep.
Separating
So
the
if
groups.
there's a bunch of people running around, in there, he'll probably don the filter mask as well.
Roll IQ -5. This will represent an attempt to conceal.
Yeah, not that great. Like I said, he's not actively trying to. He's just wearing the mask.
So someone that is, quite familiar with you might notice you in a crowd. Other than that, you're just another face in the crowd.
Clearly, he'll have to have the sister scrub some stuff later.
Let's have the universe roll. Frey, you can roll the universe reaction. This will represent the likelihood that one of the officers in the group is familiar with you for some reason due to work.
This is just like a straight reaction mod. It doesn't have any.
Yeah, just a universe reaction. So on a poor, yeah. So in this case, you have the officers that are on duty here. You're not familiar with, and likely they're not familiar with you. So you breathe a sigh of relief.
Because, I suck at masks.
Is Shard
Okay.
going to do anything to disguise himself?
All the human guys ended up on the top side, and all the non-human guys ended up on the
You
bottom
guys
side.
are all racists.
Shard
I
will
see
not do
how it
anything, no.
is.
So Shard disguising at all?
Nope.
He's just a random wizard trying to make his
Pretty
way in
much.
the universe.
He just wanted some soy bucks coffee.
All
I
right,
don't
so
know why he wanted that crappy coffee.
it's unseasonably warm, muggy, and this morning's attempt at a sunrise has become a persistent drizzle that soaks into the bone.
Perfect. Everybody's going to be pissed off at the rain.
Indeed. We actually have a long weekend holiday here. It's raining and it's messed up my camping plans and everything, so I'm pissed off with the rain too. Not the best days to be outside working a job, but not the worst you've ever had to deal with. Lefty's Lane, an old-fashioned bowling alley with both real and AR games, is currently closed as city workers set up the polling booths and registration tables. It's a little ridiculous that the average guy can't log into the Matrix and cast his vote from home, but some traditions are sacred. And although voting is done electronically, the only way to access the app is from within the polling booths after passing a SIN check.
Gosh, I wonder what's going to happen.
Though you may be tempted to mess with the voting app, the real job is outside, with the hordes of angry protesters gathered on either side of the street. The street itself has been blocked off from traffic, with knight-errant crowd control crew dressed to the nines in riot gear and barricades separating the two groups. Lefties is also barricaded off and protected by patrolling drones and canine units. Scattered throughout the crowd are a few reporters collecting interviews from anyone who will talk to them. The protesters themselves are screaming insults to both their counterparts and the police. Some of them are making insulting gestures, and every time one person gets his voice heard over the din of shouting, the other side gets even louder. Many nervous wage slaves are avoiding the growling crowd, and several businesses that would normally be open at this time have AR notices proclaiming them closed for the election holiday. Well, there you go. I guess everyone gets the day off.
Or they're just saying we're closed because please don't ruin our store. Oh my God, you're going to ruin our store, aren't you?
Down the block, the International House of Waffles has opened its doors, hoping to get some business from the hungry crowd. The employees linger in small groups in front of the restaurant. The tables are currently empty. None of the protesters seem inclined to wander their way for food. Tempers are high. The protesters are anxious. A few police rookies seem nervous, but no one has crossed the line into violence. Not yet, anyway.
And then
Gorgo's going to use body language to see if he can pinpoint anyone that seems to be pretty close to violence.
do you need body language for that?
Yeah, that's quite obvious. Some
Maybe
parties here.
Identifying the person who's most primed to do something stupid.
That's, yeah. That would that be psychology then, or body language?
Yep, I'll be right back.
In social engineering, that's called cutting out. You're looking for somebody that will do the thing that you need them to do.
Is there particular roles for that?
There are, and I am attempting to remind myself where that is exactly. While some of us are up and about getting food, cutting out 81. Cutting out. Oh, well, that's a technique. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Normally, all members of a cohesive group will react to you as indicated by a single reaction roll or influence skill rolls. Technique allow you to spot one member of the group who is susceptible to being approached as an individual. You receive +1 to his reaction roll, +3 on a crit. Your reaction roll for the rest is unaffected. If you prefer, you can apply the bonus to an influence roll against your specific target. Cutting out is prereq -4. Prereq being any per-based social interaction skill. So ultimately that means he would make an influence roll per-based -4 to spot the guy. And he would get a +1 to whatever it is that he's trying to get him to do.
Using what roll?
Perception.
Well, it's an influence-based.
+1?
It is an influence skill roll with a perception basis.
So diplomacy, sex appeal, fast talk, intimidation. I think that's them.
Fast talk.
Yeah, fast talk would make the most sense here, probably.
All right, and it's a perception-based roll, so what you have to do is drag the skill onto your perception on your character sheet there, at the top.
There you go.
Okay, 714
-4 though.
is not 645.
No.
So that's at -4. So you do not see anyone that is an obvious mark for starting violence. Is that right?
Yeah.
Can I work the crowd?
That is also a thing. It'll take me a bit to work that up, though.
Alright, so a few other things that you'll notice. The crowds are not divided on racial lines. Even though you have like Humanus on one side, Sons of Sauron on the other side, there is a deal of mixing that's going on in the general. You have a bunch of humans that are supporting Prop 23, as well as a whole bunch of trolls, dwarves, and a few elves, and others that are opposing Prop 23. Those Humanist members are tending to intimidate any metahumans that sort of come to their side of the street. So, there's insults and looks of disgust and stuff like that from them, and you have likewise on the other side of the street. The reporters are doing the rounds. Two of note is Joe Martin. If you have current affairs like media or something like that, now's the time to make a roll.
All I have is politics and Shadowrunners.
I will also allow a area knowledge Seattle. I'm assuming you watch the news. So there is a reporter carrying the KSAF banner, reporting on this.
Is that the other one?
No.
Athena, whatever her name is.
It's not Athena. Oh, yes, KSAF is Athena, but this is not Athena.
That we know of.
Well, that you know of. Yes, Athena's identity is a microphone at the moment.
No, it's not. It's Claudia. The real Claudia. I know the truth. What is televangel?
That's the reporter, the KSAF reporter.
I find this person not trustworthy.
She just wants to tell you the good word.
So they are conducting interviews. Shard. Who has had run-ins with Martin before? I don't think Shard has. Gorgo has. Gorgo, you've got your big nose and mustache disguise on.
I'm wearing a filter mask too.
It looks really weird with the Groucho mask on the outside.
Alright, so he will not notice you immediately and come up and ask you for an interview. But there are several media crews standing around doing their thing, reporting. There's film cameras, and there's also people would be, having their cell phones out, going live streaming. God, this is wild. Down here at the street, and getting all excited about what seems to be going down. How early are you guys actually going to start your thing? How much time before your 9 o'clock sort of thing?
What do
I'd say
you
would-
mean?
What, we get there about 30 minutes beforehand or an hour beforehand, or...
Figured we'd go there pretty much immediately.
Yeah, and start setting up.
All right. So, how are we going to do this? What are you guys going to do specifically?
What Frost was doing was basically just priming the crowd to behave in a certain way. I believe the one that was going to end up kicking something off would have been Gorgo. Possibly one of the other two.
All right. So, if you're going to hijack some bulletin boards and displays,
Right, yeah, I was going to do the signal. That's what I was going to do.
We'll do I guess a standard computer hacking. We'll
Standard
say
computer hacking.
A -2 bad.
Which I happen to have handy. Bum, bum, bum.
So what was the -4 for?
That was the default for that technique.
Does it get any pluses with empathy?
No. Well, now... You could probably use an empathy roll as an assist in that case.
So I might have passed if I was just
It's
say it
possible.
was -2.
Now remember, we mentioned before that you can't use body language and empathy. It's one or the other. But they both do basically the same thing.
Well, my
This is
empathy is an advantage. It's a perk. I mean, it's a 15-point
right,
perk.
but this is a perception roll. This is looking through the crowd, so you're not able to really interact with someone empathically. You're just looking for someone. So in this case, your empathy
I
wouldn't
don't
work.
see why it wouldn't work.
Empathy does not apply to body language. It's detect lies, fortune telling, and psychology.
Yeah.
Empathy, if you approach someone and start talking to them, and then you can air quotes empathize. But
Well,
just
that's part of
looking.
cutting out. Cutting out isn't just looking; it is figuring out who is the best candidate for that thing by
And that's why
examining
I'd
their
be-
behaviors.
In a way, I'm kind of working the crowd. I'm talking to people, gauging them, going to the next person, talking
All
to
right.
them a little
Give
bit,
me-
gauging.
Give me an IQ roll for your empathy, and that will be an assist.
Was he making a psychology check? I don't know what it,
With
I was. I
no,
was
he
AFK,
did fast
remember?
talk. He did
Okay.
fast talk.
Yeah.
Or does empathy-
Give me straight IQ. If you've got a 15 points, it works at full IQ.
Does empathy give you any bonuses to particular skills?
Detect lies, fortune telling, and psychology is at +3.
So I
think
can
so.
either roll IQ or roll my psychology skill, whichever you think is more applicable. I also have body language human too.
Yeah, just roll IQ and see what happens.
God.
Unless
I'm
you're gonna
going
make a
to
crit fail.
I'm going to luck that.
Okay.
Holy cow,
Note.
man.
Note the time and roll twice more. Okay, so you'll get a
I
plus
think you
1.
should take the 17.
I'm gonna
You should
take
take
the
the
6.
17. No,
Taking
the
the 6.
17.
6
What's
I got
6?
that.
Oh, by 6.
by 6.
Alright, so that will give you a plus 1, which will turn your failed roll into a successful roll by 0. So you find a person by working the crowd that is going to be able to do something for you. What is it that you want him to do?
Pick a fight.
Pick a fight.
Describe this person.
Basically, it'll be since I'm getting used to a lot of the Antifa that I've been seeing, I'll describe one. Guy's
Oh wow!
pretty big, muscular. He's wearing all in black. He's got a black mask.
Antifa's not muscular. A bunch
Whatever.
of scrawny punks.
Oh, scrawny, okay, but I noticed that he's got a bat in his hand, and he's been
This
yelling
is Humanist
across the
Folly
way.
Club, though.
So he's been yelling across the way a lot. It definitely seems agitated. Looks like anything can spark him. So
He's also high on something.
Oh, well. Yeah, that would still apply.
So empathy allows an IQ roll for this purpose in place of a new skill.
Too many
All
rules.
right. Is that still at the -4 penalty for the technique?
No, that'd be
Definitely not.
empathy's at full IQ.
All right, so in that case, you could have made your empathy roll, and that would have succeeded anyway.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I have empathy.
Drink.
Yeah.
That one counts.
And
All
I
right,
literally
so
did drink.
he's keen. He says, "Oh, what is it you want him to do? Start a fight?
Yeah, start a fight.
Any particular details?"
Just
Get that guy.
hey, you see that guy over there with the really with the broken horn? Just go get him.
He says, "Sure. I'll mess that Drek up."
Awesome.
You see as he sort of grabs the bat in two hands, and sort of, tightens his grip on it, and
Hey, Trog!
he's sort of, his eyes narrow and he sort of tilts his head down. Yeah, I'll mess that Drecker up. You just say when.
Well, what
You
time
know
is
about
it?
the signal as well.
Yeah, I'll tell him as soon as that billboard goes on, that's when you do it, okay?
He will look up at the billboard and he says, "Not a problem." And you can see, no need for body language, this guy has extreme violence in his eyes. You've managed to talk him up, and if it comes to it, you kind of feel that he's the sort of I'll pull the trigger on him sort of dude.
You just killed that orc. How does that make you feel? He's like, bad until I remember that guy's a terrorist too.
I'll be ready to patch him up.
Patch up his opened up skull.
It's gonna be okay.
This ain't me, Corbin. This ain't me.
Actually, do you have any skills that would prohibit you from, doing this?
Hey, does he have the Hippocratic Oath?
No, I do have the guilt complex, so
Yep,
Well,
you're gonna
you're
feel bad
screwed
about
if
it.
you lose him.
I will feel bad about this the next day, depending on how bad I roll.
It won't be the next day. It's going to be like the next week.
All right,
Well, I
so
felt bad. When I shot Shard in the ear, I felt bad, for a while.
Not bad enough. You shot him in the ear.
I felt bad. I felt guilty. I suffered as he suffered.
So you shot yourself in the ear.
You
Just
suffered.
to see how it
You shot
feels.
me in the head.
Have you ever been shot, Doctor?
Yes.
In the head.
by a friend.
Someone you trusted.
I was depressed, okay? I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay, so that is Gorgo. Frost, you're controlling screens and stuff. Is there... you're going to be in the soy bucks? No, you were in the sushi bar.
Sushi bar.
So you're doing this.
A little before 9, Frey is going to leave the pet store, having purchased a bag full of dog food that it's going to be in the cans, which will be nice and good for chucking
Throwage.
at someone.
So where you are, you're like shoulder to shoulder with people. Some, just standing around shouting and yelling. Some moving back and forth between the various camps. That sort of deal. Give me a general sort of reaction roll. This will be Frey, since you're approaching the Sons of Sauron camp.
That's not good.
So you definitely feel like the fifth wheel here. You get some glaring looks from people like you're not part of the crew. Piss off, move on. No one harasses you specifically, but you can feel that your presence here is not wanted.
It's all good. Everything's good.
And you're doing this like just before 9?
Yep. Right before the crazy kicks off.
Alright, Shard. You're in Soybucks Coffee. What are you doing?
Probably buying a scone. Scone and some tea.
He's that guy.
And that should be everyone. So, when the signal is given, how do you guys kick this off?
By the way, the signal is a Fruity Odie Bark commercial.
Nice.
Well played.
Oh, that was
Totally
good.
going to be one of the knight errant gals is going to say Miranda.
You mean you put in, basically you put a bug into a lot of these people that when they see it, they're all going to be saying Miranda.
That's going to be the really loud battle cry. And everybody's like, who the F is Miranda?
And then certain people get kick ass. Right. Alright. I will get vision-based perception rolls from Gorgo, and I will get vision-based perception rolls at -4 from Shard and Frost.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so failures except for Gorgo.
Clearly, I was paying more attention to my drone feed.
All right, from your vantage point, actually, does Gorgo know this guy? I'll assume that he does. You will see that close to 9 o'clock, this guy and
Oh yeah, that guy.
one sec while I find his picture.
Hmm.
This guy, which you recognise, I'm not sure if you do because I don't recall which adventures you have been on previously.
I don't recognize him.
Well, this is the first time it's been in a picture, but this guy is Edmund Jeffries.
Does sound familiar.
I hear he makes good tubes.
He will be carrying a briefcase, and he will enter the International House of Waffles.
I will relay that to Frey.
Why would you care if you don't recognize him? It's like, okay.
Well, I don't know if
for whatever reason I may recognize him, so I'm going with the assumption that the character does. So
I don't recall.
That.
I don't recall which adventures Gorgo has been part of, and if you were part of the ones where Edmund Jeffries was.
I'm trying to remember who.
Well, which ones was he involved in? I don't recall either.
Yeah, I don't know the adventures. I think it was the one where you guys were set up.
Oh yeah, that one. If we were set up, then yes, I would remember him.
That's the one with the
where
the motel.
The guy got killed, and we went up
and Frey killed everybody.
I didn't kill everybody.
So yes, I would know Edmund Jeffries then.
I'm trying to remember who he is.
I don't think we ever saw
looks like
face. We just had the name.
He has an ill-favored look. Look at that hairline, man.
That was the one where we hit that dude's house, and he had the
DA.
The old, yeah, that was DA.
Because I felt bad about it because I was sort of chatting up the ADA.
And he had the old deck that I nabbed.
He was the like a stooge of Governor Brackhaven.
Yes. I remember. Yeah, Blackfern.
Governor. I don't recall the governor's first name, but Brackhaven is the Seattle governor.
Yeah.
This guy has been organising some stuffs, some events and things like that, and he's linked to some of the things that have taken place. Actually, I think there might be a summary. 1 second.
So I will definitely relay that information to everybody else, saying, "Hey, I just saw Edmund Jeffries with the briefcase going to the International House of Waffles."
Press Secretary of Governor Kenneth Brackhaven.
So he has, for the past 2 years, made multiple attempts to solve the, in quotes, orc problem.
Right.
So instead of destroying the orcs, he has been doing work to undermine them.
I'll relay that I just saw Edmund Jeffries enter the International House of Waffles carrying a briefcase.
I'm going to the International House of Waffles. These guys
I'm
don't
not
want me
sure, but I think Jeffries also was hired. Was it Sean Walker, which was the guy that was impersonating the serial killer, the ex-UCAS Ranger?
I remember that
Right,
guy.
right.
So I think Jeffries was, footing or paying his bill
Right.
to cause trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been several incidents where he's been behind certain events that have taken place that at least you know of.
Frey, you may want to go check that out.
I already said that I was going to the International House of Pancakes.
That guy's up to no good.
And like I just said, my backup firearm is the needler that has the sleep poison on it. When the crazy kicks off, I am seriously thinking about nailing him with sleep poison and then leaving him here.
All right, so he will enter the House of Waffles just before 9 o'clock. It actually specifies here at 8:59 is when he enters.
Since he's announced that, I'm going to retask the drones to cover him. Because I want video of this twat, whatever he's going to do.
All right. Do you kick off the riot?
Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to do whatever he's going to do unless that happens.
So you don't want me to shoot him with the sleep poison?
I guess that's up to you.
Well, what is our long-term goal? Do we want Prop 29 to vote in? And
I don't know what you guys want.
I mean,
I
if we get
I don't think we've ever had a discussion about where we fall on that issue. I know
I'm gregarious, so I would like to see everybody be seen as equals.
Frost is kind of on the fence on that issue because on the one hand, yeah, he has no issue with metahumans and thinks that the orcs should be legitimized just like everybody else. On the other hand, having the orc underground being what it is allows a certain anonymity in town that you can't get elsewhere, and having a zone that is free of police interference is obviously good for the underworld.
Well, Frey is pro the thing because he's friends with the Orc Underground, and most of the people he's interacted with have been pro for it, like McAllister.
So if we make it look like the humanist group started it, it could bring sympathy to the Sons of Soren and the orc agenda. So you might actually get more of a sympathy vote.
I'm fairly certain that the Sons of Sauron are going to make sure that there is no sympathy for them. And I specifically expect this douchebag Jeffries. He's here to like do some hacking or something like that.
I kind of half expect he's here to blow up the House of Waffles.
Yeah.
And
Why would he blow
all
up the House of Waffles?
yeah, I don't know.
Does he really
maybe
dislike the waffles that badly?
They did spell
No,
house.
remember they wanted damage and destruction of the stores.
Yeah, no, it would make a lot of sense if you were gonna take somebody out. That the destruction of the rest of the restaurants in the area would be good cover for that.
You could make a.
I wonder if he's the target. That'd be awesome, because he's a D-bag.
Could be that too.
What's the skill?
Probably. So Frey, you're going into the International House of Waffles.
Well, I'm heading in that direction. I'm not going to be able to get.
You're retasking the drones. Are we starting the billboard at 9:00?
Yes.
Is it going up?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm not going to be able to get to the waffles before everything kicks off. So we'll see what happens. I may get thrown backwards when the House of Waffles explodes.
Okay, so I'll get probably a streetwise roll, or if you have some sort of investigation, like police profiling type investigation. So I guess maybe a psychology roll.
Criminology. Forensics.
So psychology, criminology, I'll accept. So there's some successes there. From what you know of Edmund Jeffries previously, he does not seem to be the sort of guy that gets his hands dirty. He's always been in the background, and he would have people doing the dirty work. So it's not likely that the briefcase that he's carrying is explosives to blow up the Waffle House. It's not, he's not going to put his face out there.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's always been in the background, moving the chess pieces.
He could be somebody in disguise or illusion.
No,
this could be true.
I'm probably just gonna keep an eye on him in case somebody wants to snap him. Like maybe he's outlived his usefulness, and his boss has said, "Yeah, make sure he dies, and it's a mess."
Well, this is an overly elaborate plan for that, I think.
That doesn't mean it's not a good plan.
All right, so come 9:00, the board goes into the ad, and almost as if this guy knew exactly when it was going to happen. The guy Gorgo spoke to, he will jump the fence, and he will start running across the way to the Sons of Sauron, making a beeline for the guy that you pulled out. This sort of catches the knight errant people off guard a little bit as he just sort of leaps and runs, and they move to intercept. When one of the knight errant guys gets to him, he just sort of swings his bat and hits the knight errant guy in the side of the face, dropping the dude to the ground. And the knight errant guy is like,
Gorgo
had the sort of wind knocked out of him. You're medically trained. You wouldn't be surprised if there's a broken or dislocated jaw, because that bat hit hard, and the guy's on the ground rolling, holding his face in pain. He runs across the other side, pointing the bat at the dude. The dude on the other side...
Lay him out. That'd be hysterical.
The dude on the other side sees that he's being called out and will leap the barrier.
Can he throw some dog food at him? I'm just being a smart ass. Carry on.
So he'll leap the barrier, just in time to meet the guy face to face, and the guy with the bat starts, laying into this. Was it a troll or an orc that you'd pointed out?
Troll with a broken horn.
So he starts laying into this troll. The troll being a big sort of buff troll will take a few hits, and then he just sort of grabs the guy with the bat by the shirt and just sort of starts punching him in the face, just one punch after the other. And this guy's getting punched by a troll is bad enough.
That ain't good for your dental plan.
Being punched by a troll with rings and stuff is just messing this guy's face up, and you can see broken skin, blood beginning to pour from his face, and it's on. The barrier at the Sons of Sauron sort of gets pushed down. Knight Errant sort of run up with their riot shields, trying to desperately form a line, but they are severely outnumbered. There's only 15 of them versus the mob, so they're desperately trying to hold back. Knight Errant have their extend their batons and are starting to sort of club people back behind the barrier and all this sort of stuff, but the crowd soon has them overwhelmed. With the Sons of Sauron leaping the barrier, the Humanus take that as their cue to get involved, and you will see from under jackets and stuff like that, you have weapons, concealed weapons being drawn. So there's bats and pipes and some knives,
bicycle axe,
things like that being drawn. There's probably also some handguns and a few of those as well. No large weapons like assault rifles, which wouldn't have been easy to conceal. None of that, but easily concealable weapons. So they're over the barrier, and they will sort of catch Knight Errant from behind, who are trying to stop the Sons of Sauron, and then Knight Errant find themselves in the middle of this throng of people. The protesters that were here just to protest, you will see that they will start going, oh shit, this just got real. And those that don't want a part of it are starting to escape down the street. Those people that feel that they want to do their part will start picking out opposing people in the group that also feel they want to do their part, and fighting erupts, and the whole thing gets pretty chaotic with people going everywhere. Frey, with all this taking place, people running and rushing past you and stuff like that, getting to the House of Waffles is difficult. I guess you could use acrobatics or dex as a representation of how well you negotiate the crowds of people. So using acrobatics, you will duck, slide under some people, and you'll make some pretty decent progress. Obviously, we'll say half move sort of thing.
Right outside the noodle shop.
Gorgo, when all this starts, what are you doing?
Seeing that Knight Errant guy get smacked in the face, I'm probably going to be I'm gonna try to use leadership to get the crowd to focus more on each other, not Knight Errant, and see if I could get to that Knight Errant guard to administer first aid.
All right, you would
And
know.
then shoot you in the face.
You would know right away that you have like no leadership authority here at all. Not to mention the situation's like
And it's a riot.
out of control. So no one's going to listen to you. So you jump the barrier,
No,
trying to.
Well, with my medical band, I would hope that a lot of people give me leeway as they know I'm there to patch people up.
Nope. They know that's a BS. That's a way you get people not to look at you is done that. So you're going to get beat up twice as hard.
All right, so Gorgo, you're jumping the fence. Knight Errant sandwiched in between this. So the fight that's taking place in the street is a mix of Humanus versus Sons of Sauron, Knight Errant versus both parties, and yeah, it's like almost a free for all. Knight Errant.
Rugby scrum.
Knight Errant are getting hammered, and you can see that some of the officers are trying to employ, de-escalation tactics and trying to regroup, and others are just trying to get out of there, to save their lives. As you'll see one go down, and the boots and clubs and pipes and stuff will start laying into that officer who's like hiding behind a shield, trying not to get beat.
I will, whoever's closest that needs assistance that I see has been knocked down, I'll try to drag them out of the area.
All right, so you will have to push your way to the middle of the middle of the mass of people. Rioters.
And that's the last we saw of Gorgo. He got torn apart. It was terrible.
I failed my overconfidence, so I feel pretty confident about getting in.
All right, so you can roll Dex or Acrobatics as representative of how well you navigate these people.
Hey, he could get his higher purpose on that.
I am using my higher purpose.
All right, so we'll say you can push past at half move and dodge, or half move. And you're going for the Knight Errant people, right?
I'm going, really, I am gregarious, so I'm just going for whoever needs medical help. I'm going to drag them to safety. So if someone has been knocked down, I'm going to grab them and get them to the...
gregarious would be for. Gregarious just means you like to be in crowds. So, hey, you're fine. Well, you're surrounded by a crowd, so you're
I'm also
okay.
I'm broad-minded. I'm gregarious. So I don't have a...
He's a people person.
I'm a people person. So I'm just focusing on who needs help. The first person that needs help, I'm grabbing them, getting them out of there to safety, and then administering first aid if need be.
All right, so you jump through, push your way through people. You can hear the Knight Errant guys that are over near Lefty's Lane and the canine crew. They have, there's dogs barking, and they're trying to...
Affirmative, master.
They're trying to, control the situation in their immediate vicinity, because Knight Errant are just as much targets for these two groups as, the groups are to each other. Since both, probably have issue with the cops at some point. All right, so you will push through to some people. Give me a universe reaction roll. I want the universe to be unkind to you, just for my own pleasure.
Three.
I am gonna use my healer for this though, because I'm using my higher purpose for this. I'll
give you higher purpose bonus, which is what, a plus
4, I think.
Plus 4. Yeah.
Wow. Universe is cold and uncaring.
Yeah, the universe
It
does.
really wanted to bite him.
I would have preferred the roll
if it
without the
hadn't
plus
been-
4.
If it hadn't been a 4, that would have been an 8, which is just poor.
Poor, I think.
Yeah, it's just poor.
That's not as bad as it could have been.
All right, so we'll have Frey. Who is the person that needs medical attention? Who's the person that Gorgo sees first that needs medical attention?
It's gonna be the dude he talked into charging forward, because that troll finished and
Oh
just
yeah, that
tossed
dude's
him
screwed.
aside, and then went to town on another Humanist Polyclub guy. So that dude is just laying there. His face is fully lacerated. His jaw's broken in like 3 places. You
5
don't know
minutes
if he
ago.
still has a nose.
5 minutes ago, he was a complete douche, but now he's just a mess.
And he's clutching a photo of his family.
Yep. And they're all wearing KKK robes.
That kind of diminishes the empathy I'm trying to set up. But
Yeah, I know.
no, they are in late.
A couple kids with the really big anime eyes.
No, there's the little Antifa
And a little puppy.
kids over there trying to put bandages on his face, and they're putting a tourniquet on his leg, but his leg isn't even injured.
Nah, this dude is totally foobarred.
All right, so you arrive at this guy just as you see this towering troll drop, just throw the body to the ground, and you see his head smashes the ground, and he's just a mess from this troll. The troll's hand is covered in blood and probably bits of flesh that have caught onto his rings and stuff. And he will see you arrive. I guess you're still wearing your medical.
Yes, I'm still wearing
medical
my
patch.
band and, medical patch.
At which case the troll is going to rear back and kick the guy to you, probably breaking a couple ribs in the process.
The troll will see you approach, and it becomes clear that you're here to help this guy. And the troll just sort of walks forward and puts his boot on this guy's throat, and you can see that he's just pushing down, and he's doing this while he's sort of maintaining eye contact. Why is that going off?
Oh, your house is on fire.
That was you.
Also, your house is on fire.
Yeah, so he's maintaining eye contact, and you can see that he's pushing his foot into this guy's throat. I think a smoke alarm battery might be freaking out. 1 second.
1,000.
And we're up.
Meanwhile, frickin' Shard is over there sipping coffee, watching the scrum play out in front of him.
I mean,
Thinking about maybe tossing a fireball here and there.
All good.
Well, he's always thinking of that, though.
So
Yeah.
he
I'm not. Shard's not his fireball guy.
So he will put his foot or boot on this guy's throat and starts pushing down while looking at maintaining eye contact with Gorgo. He knows that you're there to help him, but this guy wants, this dude to die.
I will try to fast talk him and basically say I'm more there to help the troll guy if he needs help.
Low down lying liar.
So, here, let me look at your fist. It looks messed up.
Look, if you don't remove those teeth out of your knuckles, that's going to get infected.
Alright, so what are you saying to this troll who clearly wants to murder the guy that is under his boot?
So
There's another one over there.
I'm actually, kind of ignoring the guy on the ground at this point. And I'm looking at his fist. I'm saying, hey, you need medical attention. I know you heal fast, but dude, the amount of damage to your fist, it needs some first aid. Let me look at that.
He says,
What the heck?
he says,
He's gonna
It's
punch
not-
you.
it's not my blood.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I'll go look for another guy then to help. this poor guy
You're
is
just
dead.
gonna let that dude die? I mean, yeah, he's a piece
Well,
of
there
crap,
are plenty of
but-
people that need help.
Yeah, that one's died. I can't really help. It's called triage. So I'm gonna go find someone else. Probably the knight errant. Go get him.
That one's got a growth on his neck.
There is clearly a candidate for guilt complex here.
Maybe not, actually. I was looking at Guilt Complex just now, and it specifically states you feel personally responsible for those who play a significant role in your life. This includes adventuring companions, employers, subordinates, allies, dependents, and those toward whom you have a duty or a sense of duty. However,
I don't have a sense of duty for this guy.
Selfless. So,
Yeah.
Let me roll
Selfless
that.
is kind of like having a sense of duty to everyone.
Roll selfless.
Yeah.
I want you to fail this roll.
No. If anything bad happens to someone
Nope.
like this, regardless of you don't make a roll for that. If anything bad happens to someone like this, you will be racked by anxiety and guilt, even if there was nothing you could have done to avert this. So, if it's not your fault, you suffer the effects of chronic depression for 15 minus will days, minimum 1. If it was your fault, the effects of chronic depression will last 20 minus will days, minimum 2 days. And your effective self-control number is will minus 3.
Wow,
You're
that's
going to commit suicide.
All right.
No,
Well, in this case, he's not like a close person, but you are definitely responsible for what is going to become his death.
So maybe treat it as if the mishap was not his fault.
But
Even though it is.
you're going to feel guilty about it. You do succeed your selflessness roll here, so you're not like obligated to help him. So you can go
well,
sorry, not sorry, and go somewhere else. So you don't have to try and intervene, but you know that this troll is intending to kill this guy, and he's probably killing him only because you went there to offer medical assistance. Otherwise, he would have probably just left him on the ground.
I will try to talk him down again using more of a diplomatic point of view, and say,
Maybe what's your angle? Like, hey, it's just assault right now. It's not murder 1.
it's
murder
more
2.
of
Oh, wait a sec.
not only,
Fast
hey,
talk.
we all are going to need some medical help after this, right? So if you kill someone, why would I help you guys?
You may not get that opportunity because I believe a failed fast talk roll results in a bad reaction.
Well, it wasn't a failed roll.
Does
it was
it?
just you won. Man, you critically succeeded that one too. Jeez, 3? Wow.
Well,
honestly,
fortunately, that was a quick contest, so the critical doesn't actually do anything extra.
But yeah, it's not a critical, but he's succeeding by more than 6. So that is a bad reaction. So
No.
you can see
He might
Yeah.
throw the guy
you attempt to like talk this guy out of it, and he just snarls and is going to, he sort of steps off the guy's throat as he takes a step forward to grab Gorgo.
And we can't see any of this because you're in the middle of a scrum.
I suppose you guys perhaps have TACnet going?
I told you this was the last time we ever saw Gorgo. He ventured
I'll
into the
try to
fight
dodge his grab.
We are at least going to be in communication, and anybody that has biomonitor will at least be feeding there. I don't know if we're going to do the standard TACnet thing though, because it is a electromagnetically dirty environment right now.
So I will dodge his grab, or try to, and then I will basically, if he's following me, then that means he stopped trying to kill this guy. So
well, yeah, he stepped off the guy. He stepped off the guy to take a step forward to you, and you feel that he's going to grab you.
I'm going to back away.
You should lead him into that. Lead him into the clothing store.
Yeah, I'm going to go basically into the. That's a good idea. I'll run into the clothing store.
All right, so we will do this with a dex roll.
Don't you know who I am?
He will attempt to grapple you first.
Yeah, he's going to.
Is he attacking?
Yeah.
Well, it's been nice knowing you, Gorgo.
He fails to grapple. So he will sort of reach out and grab you, but he gets, as he grabs, his hand sort of slips off your arm, and he's left holding the Red Cross armband that you put on.
I'll run into the clothing store, heading for the back door of it.
Going neener, neener, neener.
All right.
Exactly.
Let's see. Let's have Shard roll the universe reaction to see if the clothing store was one of those that decided they're closed for the election holiday. Well, in your case, it is not closed. They figured they could sell some t-shirts. On the shelves, they've got t-shirts that say, up for prop sides. 23, and then on the other side of the store, it's down for prop 23. And it's got a discount, 20% off today only. All right, so you will start running into the store. The troll will run after you. And what's your speed? Your move?
6.
Yep, he's going to catch you and eat you.
Okay. Trolls are faster than you, so we will do this as a chase roll. So give me a dex or running roll. Or running skill. If you have urban survival, I guess you could use that as a complementary skill. Survival. Alright, so you can add +1 to your dex for the purpose of this. You need to beat his roll by 5 or more to lose him, otherwise he's going to be on your trail.
Nice. That's the time to do that.
Alright, so he starts off after you. You're going through the throng of people. This troll is just pushing people, bulldozing some people in his effort to get you. You will run into the clothing store as you sort of gain on. You're smaller, so you can weave through the people a lot easier. You run into the clothing store, and you'll see, the troll is sort of, you're gaining on the troll, and he's just about to get into the store when you see that he is tripped by a dude, one of the Humanist dudes, who has just like wrapped a chain around his leg, and you look back and you see that Humanist are going to town on this troll, and this troll is fighting back, and you're no longer a concern for him.
No, how it happens is that Humanist guy wraps a chain around the troll's leg, and the troll doesn't even notice, just keeps running, and now he's dragging a Humanist guy behind him.
That sounds good. Until some more Humanist dogpile. And then he's no longer concerned with chasing after Gorgo.
Phew.
Okay, so Shard and Frost. What are you guys doing?
Roger. Frost, as soon as this thing kicks off, Frost is going to tell the sushi chef in Japanese, which is via translator, so it's probably a little off, that I should probably close up now. It's going to get messy here. But, and he's basically going to pack up and move over toward the door, just kind of hang out there and observe. But he's also managing the drones and trying to keep them with the Jeffries dude in sight.
Okay. So the once the noise begins to swell, the store owner of the sushi bar will go to the front door and have a look out and realize that shit's going down. He will immediately start locking up. Frost, give me a universe roll.
Sushi was Korean. He could be a rooftop Korean. Like Tim
there's
Pool's
no reason he
talking
can't
about.
be. He can be rooftop Japanese.
All right, so neutral reaction. He is close. He's making it. He's not making it like announcing that I'm closing the shop. If you want to get out, get out. He's just going about the the procedure of closing up shop. You see, he sort of closes windows, and there's like the roller shutter security screen that he's about to roll down. So if you want to get out of the shop before he closes it up, you have to do it now. Otherwise, you will be locked in. And but he doesn't actually say, if you want to get out, you have to do it now. He just starts.
Yeah. I'll check and see if he's got a balcony or something, second level in here, somewhere I could go outside, out of reach. Otherwise, I'll just kind of step out and keep flat.
Well, let's have the universe decide that. Actually, no, you decide that.
Universe always decides.
You can decide. He does not have
No balcony.
He does not have a balcony, but he does have. There's obviously an upstairs portion to this place. Yeah. Are you going to try and find out how to get into that upstairs portion?
Nah, it's not that important at this point. I'll just step outside and try to stay flat. Keep some obstructions around me.
All right. So you will stop the guy. He looks at you. He says, "You're crazy, man."
Arigato gozaimashita.
And he pauses the roller door just enough for you to sort of sneak out underneath it. Then it rolls down shut. You can hear him, locking up behind you. Okay, I have.
Shard.
Yeah, I think with everything kicking off, it's time to finally get into action. And so, upon hearing the screaming outside, he'll just scarf the rest of the scone into his mouth, take a and get up, start walking out, and toss the cup into the trash. And with scone in mouth, make his way outside.
All right, with stuff going crazy, you will have people coming in through this door. Just people trying to get off the street, piling in through the door. If you're going to push past them, then you'll need a dex roll. Otherwise, you're sort of forced back as people rush through. Unless, of course, you want to, fire up a fireball or intimidate or something like that.
No, I think my best bet is that dex.
A successful
How common are casters in Shadowrun?
What? What about what casters? What?
Just wonder, how many people in the crowd are actually casters?
Not many. In terms of actual population percentage, I'm not sure what that would be.
For Shadowrun, I think it's, at least Shadowrun proper, I think it's relatively on the low side. Like sub 10% sort of thing.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, even 10% would be a lot.
Yeah, it's
even 5% would be a lot.
I'm comfortable it's not more than 10, but as to the specific percentage, I'm not sure on.
So if we've got 100 people out here, 5 of them could be casters.
Well, 2 of them are definitely
Knight
casters.
Errant.
Yeah, there's 2 Knight Errant
That's
mages.
true. And 2 PCs.
I don't know. Do I really count as a caster? I mean, I just couple minor things.
You are
More
an adept.
hedge mage.
You would be considered a caster.
I am a mixed up marshmallow mess. I have both cybernetics and magics.
Do you carry a pencil?
I carry a box of pencils.
Did everyone see that John Wick Thanos?
Yeah, I posted that. I saw it and it's hysterical.
I actually laughed out loud when I saw that one. With a fucking pencil.
Who the fuck can do that?
I was making a comment to my son. It seems like John Wick memes have replaced Chuck Norris.
Well, okay. I'm okay with that. John Wick's awesome.
And he even mentioned that he's seen a meme where I don't know if you've seen the meme that has I think it's Opportunity Rover or Spirit Rover, saying, was I a good rover?
Right.
So it has Chuck Norris saying, was I a good meme? And John Wick says, you were the best. And then he shoots Chuck Norris in the head. Anyway. So, dex roll to push past. You will successfully push past the people screaming and trying to, come in here for some safety. And you find yourself out on the street. You look across to your right, and you will see that Frost has joined you out on the sidewalk there. The main, mass of Riot still is happening at on the other side of the barrier in the street. Knight Errant officers are getting hammered, but they're they're at least with the mages and stuff like that, they're managing to start the process of extracting their officers from the threat area. Them attempting to stop the riot is like all but lost. There are people running around everywhere. There are some people like not Humanus or Sauron, Sons of Sauron, that are also fighting, fisticuffs, and there's like pushing and shoving, and you'll see one person sort of picks up the sign of Prop 23 and smashes it over some other person.
And then one of them is going to smash into the VR accessory shop and start looting. Because that's how this works.
Yes, it won't take long before people come out with Xboxes and stuff. Because, reasons. Xboxes have everything to do with Prop 23 in some way.
They do. Not sure how, but they clearly do. People are totally going to listen to this and think that I have a bad opinion of Antifa.
Okay, so I will get those people that are out on the street that is not Gorgo, because you had your action. I'll get you to roll a d6 for me, please.
Is Frey going to roll a 1 as well?
Yes, Frey needs to roll. Actually, no. I'm going to veto Frey's roll, and I'm going to pick what happens to you because this makes more sense.
The International House of Waffles is going to explode, and I'm going to get phone cords.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You're pushing your way through people, and you step past one person, and you find yourself face to face with a Humanus member who locks eyes with you. You can see he's like covered in sweat. There's a few drops of blood and stuff on his clothes. He looks at you and says, "Frackin' dandelion eater."
Hold on, I'm looking for something.
Go to sleep now.
I don't have sleep.
Yeah, you
I think I'm gonna look at him and do it. No, I don't have the sleep spell. I think
but you got a sleep gun.
That's Mr. Dandelion Eater to you. I don't want to necessarily draw the firearm unless I have to.
He'll say, "We'll see." And he doesn't appear to have any weapons on his person, but he will come at you. He'll attempt to sort of grab you behind the head and knee you in the guts.
I don't want him to do that.
You can attempt to intervene with a ranged weapon if you're so choosing. Otherwise, it will be a dodge.
Or whatever.
I'm actually going to try to dodge it because I would like to be, have a legitimate excuse to improve my hand-to-hand skills. And I'm trying to avoid bringing out the firearms.
Which his hand-to-hand skills are not up to John Wick levels.
They are currently not up to John Wick level. I mean, I've only got I think like a 12 in judo, 13 in judo and a 12 in karate. So I need to get those up better.
Damn. So this is a knee strike. So he comes up, sort of, grabs you behind the head and forces his knee into your belly.
He's got to grab a hold of my
Yeah.
head first.
He's not actually doing like the grapple. This is just the
Right, that's what he's trying.
the way he's doing his knee strike. You will need to dodge.
Yep, I'm in the process of
He could
doing
parry.
stuffs.
He probably won't.
Actually, I think I will parry.
Wow.
Reroll.
That's right. You got combat luck,
Like I
right?
said, yep. So that's going to be 2, 4. That's +4. I don't want to bother making the stupid
Mm-hmm.
stuffs. Man.
Wow.
I want to take that one. Can I take that one?
No, you cannot take that one. I'm going to
That's
take
better.
that one.
Damn. All right. So you will
tried to fail.
you will fend off this this knee strike, and it's your turn.
Yeah, now I've got to figure out what the hell I do with judo stuffs, because I'd like to throw his ass on the ground.
You just did a parry, so you
I
can
did do a parry.
actually set up you can set up something from there. Just the basics.
Yeah, clearly I need to spend some points and get some techniques and stuff like that. Need to go join a super fighting gym.
Turn immediately after a successful judo parry. You may attempt to throw your attacker if he is within 1 yard. This counts as an attack roll versus
So I
judo
wanna
skill to hit.
Do that.
You may use any active defense, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And you throw him.
Right. So
He falls
do I
where
need
you please.
okay. I should probably look at the map where I'm at. I should throw him through the window.
Oh, there you go.
I want to throw him through the window. Granted, he might bounce
keep on
off
mission?
the window. Yep.
You got something against noodles?
I got something against this particular brand of noodles.
All right, so he will go through the window. It is safety glass because the noodle shop doesn't want people suing them for serious injuries. So it'll shatter, and the guy lands on the ground, a little stunned at that move. He will be picking himself up. Is Frey going to stick around to finish this guy, or is just going to move on?
Yep, just going to continue moving on.
All right, so this guy
I
will...
figure by the time he gets back up, I'm nowhere in sight.
Yeah, so he will stand back up, shaking his head going, what the fuck just happened? That was not expected. And by then, you're gone, and there's just a crowd of people out in front of him, and you'll see, as you sort of give a cautionary glance over your shoulder, you'll see a Sons of Sauron guy just sort of rip this dude out of the shop window and
Because
start
he
on.
did like those noodles.
That's right.
Now he's really angry at this guy.
Okay, so Shard and Frost, you both rolled 1. I'm going to change one of your results. Who is best for this to...
Cheater.
Well, I don't want the same thing to happen to both of you. So I'm going to choose which one is the most appropriate. Alright, so Frost, you sort of step out onto the street and your old mate, news reporter from News Network, Joe Martin, steps in front of you. He's like, ducking some people. He's got a cameraman there who, brings his camera up onto his shoulder, and he, sort of thrusts a microphone in front of your face, and shouts something shouts a sort of question that you don't sort of hear over the mass of people. But you will realize that you are on camera at this point. You're not sure. What did you succeed your disguise roll by?
I didn't actually
11
roll
billion.
that. Didn't roll that because I'm wearing a face mask and sunglasses.
Right, so in your interactions with this guy before, would you have ever worn the same sort of outfit?
I don't know that. Have I been in his actual physical presence? We did meet him physically at one point.
We did.
Didn't
We all met him at one point in a cafe.
Well, based off my role, he's not putting 2 and 2 together who you are. You're just a face on the street.
With a mask and sunglasses and not wanting to be identified.
In the fact, considering you have a face mask and all that, his question is barely audible. And he says, "Why would you be here to start trouble?" What is your goal here? But you do know that a cameraman is like, rolling. Joe will say, "Are we rolling?" Just before he sort of thrusts the microphone into your face.
First, I am going to basically respond with what the hell's going on? Also, voice modulator, all that stuff, so hopefully I won't be identified, but yeah.
He will say, "It's a riot. I thought that's obvious. What's your part in this?"
I was having sushi. He told me to get out. And yeah, I'm totally using fast talk.
Since you're
because
human,
that's my best skill.
Since you're human, he says, "What is Humanus' objective in this? What part do they have to play?"
Dude,
they're a bunch of douches.
No, you should have said, "Yay, we're gonna win" or some crap like that.
Well, I don't know that necessarily gets us anything at this point.
Makes them to blame.
No, what I'm gonna say is I saw on the net, or I saw on my face, that there was some kind of thing going down here, so evidently there's a thing. Did you see the commercial? That was weird.
Are you using any particular skills at this point?
I'm using the hell out of fast talk. And being fairly convincing. Although
Not
some
really.
people... Well, I am being fairly
Damn.
convincing.
All right, but he has it in his mind that you're part of Humanus, and he will continue with questions along that line. Is Humanus hoping to, scare people from coming to vote for Prop 23? And he'll just continue that sort of line of questioning.
Do we haven't seen Jeffries do anything, have we?
haven't got there
Not as yet. This is all obstacles before you sort of get to wherever you go.
He's Frost is going to say, speaking of Humanus, that Jeffries is over there.
The governor's press secretary.
The governor's press secretary is over there in that International House of Waffles.
Oh, man.
That's a fast talk roll, but I will give you a bonus of
plus 10.
Of plus 4, because that is a serious scoop.
That is
so by 7.
That's better.
So at the mention of that, he will turn to his cameraman. Keep it rolling. We're heading over there. And he'll start to, speak into his microphone. He'll be going, we've just been informed by one of the humanists that Edmund Jeffries is in the Waffle House, Governor Brackhaven's press secretary, and he'll disappear into the crowd, leaving you alone. Leaving Shard. So, as you step out onto the street, materializing right in front of you is you will see one of the knight errant mages, doing his mage magic stuff, and a spirit will materialize right in front of you. I will get a reaction roll.
Oof.
Nice. The spirit will focus on you and has taken it that you are a potential instigator of this riot. His sort of controlling mage is off to the side, trying not to get beat up and stuff. What are you doing?
Can I do a good old-fashioned spirit lore check to see if what kind of spirit it is? Am I coming through okay?
Yep.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Alright, so it is an air spirit.
Okay.
By the look of him, he's pretty badass. He has not engaged, but you get the feeling that he's probably going to engage, which is probably going to result in putting you to the ground so that an officer can arrest you and do whatever the Knight Errant plan to do with rioters.
Yeah, I don't enjoy that. Hmm.
So the air spirit he actually knows that's going to be from the Knight Errant?
Yeah, he summoned it in front of me,
Oh,
or summoned
right.
it. He summoned it while I was behind him, or that sort of thing. I saw him do it.
So, what is Shard attempting to do?
That's an excellent question. I don't want to cause anything that might cause the spirit to decide to actually engage, even though it looks like he's about to anyway.
Well, you could probably, if you just wanted to run, you could probably do that, and they may or may not follow. Or you could maybe try and convince the Knight Errant mage that you're just a innocent bystander.
Yeah, I don't have the conversation skills for that, so I will try to put on like I'm a little bit fearful, and then actually try to like run down the road away from everything.
Okay. So, do you have acting?
Nope.
Was that a yep or a nope?
That was a no.
Alright, so the default is IQ -5. I'll get you a roll.
No, he's got a pretty high intelligence, so well, the other guy's also a mage.
And you get +2. Because what is your IQ?
IQ is 13.
Yeah. Alright, so you play scared and will back off and run. The Knight Errant officer will look for a moment and then turn away and command the spirit to start engaging other people that are actually hurting Knight Errant officers. Start sort of clearing away, and the spirit will sort of charge forward, and people are just getting knocked to the side as it makes a beeline for officers in trouble.
Great. And then as I start getting further away, then eventually I'll start to start making my way down and across towards.
But it appears as you're making your way down the street, you are twirling and dancing because.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got to get through the crowd somehow.
All right, so 3 of you are converging on the International House of Waffles.
I guess we kind of are.
By the time that you get there, you will see Edmund Jeffries exiting the House of Waffles. You can, if you have body language, feel free to make a roll.
I do.
Gorgo isn't there.
Who's Gorgo? He died. He went into the thing and disappeared. We never saw him again.
He's getting fitted for a new dress.
Ha 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 ha.
Okay, so you can see from his body language that he seems really on edge.
Well, there's a riot going on.
And his behavior is probably a little paranoid. He's like looking around. He's like at the doorway, just before he sort of steps out. He's at the doorway looking, and you see he looks up at the roofs for like potential sniper locations and things like that. And you just get the feeling that he's like, paranoid. Maybe he thinks he's a target or something like that. And once he feels that there is an all clear, you see he makes an exit and runs down the street. Those of you that are
squarely into Joe,
that would be amusing.
Now Brian's like, do I have that happen?
I'm actually contemplating it.
Universe.
Yeah, let the universe decide.
Okay. Big money, big money, big money, big money. No, that's a poor.
All right,
so that means he's going to get shot in the head.
So he will make his escape down the street. I will get perception rolls. If you succeed your perception roll, then an IQ roll. Now this is a thing to notice something, so no mods would come into this at all.
Everyone?
Just those that will see him. So that's Frost, Gorgo, and... Alright, so Frost, you don't notice.
So, Frost, you don't see crap. You're blind.
At least one of the drones is going to be chasing him.
That's true. You did say earlier you sending one to after him.
Okay, so Shard...
He could be faster than they are, though. They're not that fast.
I'll just go off the perception roll. I don't think it's necessary for the IQ, because this is actually a roll to notice something. So, Frey and Shard, you'll notice that he does not appear to be carrying anything. And it was reported by... who was it? Gorgo? That he stepped in with a briefcase.
And that's when I look at the building as it explodes?
No. Moments after he sort of makes his escape, you guys are still sort of converging on that position, pushing through people. You'll catch a glimpse of him here and there, but eventually he'll disappear. You can still follow him with your drones. That's not a problem. But the rest of you will get to the Waffle House. Now, this will be a roll for Frey only.
Raggy.
Frey, just roll.
Explosion.
Let's go IQ.
I don't know what that is. Okay, I was just rolling.
Oh, actually, do you have Savoir-Faire Police?
Yes, I do.
Or Current Affairs Police? That might even be better. Either way.
No, but I have Current Affairs Politics.
No, Police will work. Whichever's better.
Savoir-Faire Police, that would have been a success by 3.
Okay, you will see exiting, also in a seeming hurry, is this person.
He's an invisible ghost person. This is
that is a person, all right.
Give me an IQ roll. You know that she's a knight-errant officer but you do not recall her name.
That's a woman.
Not a woman.
That is a very manly looking woman.
She is described as a short human with chopped
She's human.
curly
Never
hair
mind.
and a horizontal scar across her nose. She's not in uniform, but you know that she is a knight-errant officer.
Well, I'm gonna
Or at
keep
least-
an eye on her, but
At least has been at some time, because you have sort of run in her to her or seen her from time to time. You don't recall her name though.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna keep an eye on her, but I'm not necessarily gonna try to intercept because I'm thinking this might have been an info exchange. Like, dude is turning on the governor. As long as she doesn't get jumped by dudes or sniped by dudes, I'm just gonna let her disappear.
So she will.
Are you gonna point her out?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let me think. Luckily, I can get away with taking a little extra longer to think because of alter time rate or enhanced time sense. Do I point her out? Yes,
Okay.
but
Then
I'm not going to necessarily not going to say, hey, follow the person or anything like that.
well, I'm gonna send it. Task one of the other drones to follow her.
That could potentially attract attention we don't want, but okay.
Yeah. They're little
Um,
drones.
all right, since you're retasking drones, give me a drone operations roll, whatever it is.
Stand by. Wait a minute. No, I got that over there.
A failed roll means she has disappeared in the crowds before the drones can find her.
Oh, damn it. Right, I don't have that on there. That is going to be electro surveillance.
Okay, so she will look around. You can see that she's keeping her cool, whereas the Edmund Jeffries was like panicked, paranoid, and stuff like that. She walks out, keeping her sort of cool, which is especially unusual given that there's a riot going on. But then, she's somewhat badass, knight errant. She's seen shit, so she keeps her cool. But you can see that she'll sort of have a look around, and then she will sort of make her way away from the riot. So she starts down the street. You guys will all sort of converge out front of the Waffle House, and you sort of get face to face, and then you'll all sort of turn almost in unison, looking into the Waffle House, and you will see there is the briefcase that Edmund Jeffries brought in at a table by the floor.
It's so going to blow up.
And then it explodes.
And that's where we leave it.
Didn't explode?
After it explodes or before it explodes?
It didn't explode yet.
I'm disappointed in you. I was hoping for an explosion.
Is there at least a timer on it?
No, there's no timer.
Honestly, I
It
just want
looks
to throw
like
a
a-
force dome around it.
So, a straight up black briefcase.
Well, that's odd.
Well, we started a riot.
To whatever end.
And if you guys all die because of that explosion, I will be racked by guilt. Because I was the one who said, hey, that guy there with the briefcase. Ugh.
And
That's
yes,
true. It would be your fault.
the riot does begin to escalate and it spreads and it turns into looting and there's buildings that are going to get smashed, we will decide what you guys do next time.
Well, at least we're getting paid. We better be getting paid.
Well, the assumption is that you get paid.
Yeah, there was property damage, so...
You have succeeded in your mission. After you guys sort of clear off, you brush the dust off, and go, I love it when a plan comes together. And who will it be? It'll be Gorgo that lights up a cigar and says, I love it when a plan comes together.
No, Gorgo's face.
Yes, that's better.
Can't remember. We identified who everybody was.
I'm John Wick.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Shard
I can't
would
remember
be.
who everybody was.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
There's a case for Shard being face. And Gorgo could be Murdoch.
No, Gorgo does more of the talking.
Yeah, Gorgo's definitely face.
But Shard has sex appeal and stuff. And he's attractive.
Does he?
I think Shard's attractive and has sex appeal.
That was Aramis.
Confusing. So, yeah, no.
You weren't even running that game.
All right, so 2 points.
It will be 2 points.
Groovy.
All right. Good night, everybody.
All right. Is there anything that you wish to take care of before we go? Is there any spending of points?
Negative here.
Let
Not
me
at this time.
see. Well, we're still nope. Never mind. I was looking at my judo, but I need one more point to do that.
All right. So, if you are
Good
watching
start
this,
on some social skills.
if you are watching this and have any questions, corrections, or general complaints or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment or find us on Discord. Thank you for watching. Olympus bids you adieu and good night.
Good night, everybody.
Stream out.